Yay! Happy first day of the reading rush! Can't lie, already got off to a little bit of a late start, but I've got my coffee and I haven't read a single page yet. Last night I could have started at midnight. I was awake. I didn't want to be. I wanted to go to bed early last night, but I haven't had a Fortnite sesh with Ryan for a very long time and he was working till late, so we played Fortnite until like 1:30 a.m. and then I went and got some sleep. I don't even know how to start this vlog. I feel completely unprepared for the reading rush this year, completely unprepared for daily vlogs. So what's happening with me this week? I am going to be working. I'm self-employed though, so I won't be going out to work. I'll be home, and I've actually worked it out. The only reason that I'm doing the reading rush is because I've actually managed to clear through the bulk of my orders. So this week will pretty much just be keeping on top of orders as they're coming in, and I have a whole ton of admin stuff to do. It's my admin week, so it's all totally boring stuff. I gotta do a quick run through and tidy up my accounts. I have to order all the stuff I need for my next restock, which I think is going to be next week, and I'm also going to be working on the new candle release for next week. So it is very much like a computer week, not a lot of actual physical working, and I'm not in like a huge rush to have to complete a whole ton of orders. So I've managed to clear my work schedule enough that I can actually participate in this thing. Reading wise, I've already made a terrible mistake. I added up all of the pages I need to read this week last night and divided it by 7 to see how many pages I should be reading per day, and it came out as 300 pages per day, which is 200 standard book pages and 100 graphic novel pages per day. Like, I thought I was doing okay with 3 graphic novels, but yeah, it seems not. So that was my first fuck up. My second fuck up is that I did not manage to finish The Winter of the Witch yesterday. I have slightly less than 100 pages left in this. I think I have about 94 pages. So I am bringing this into the reading rush because I do really want to finish this. It is the last book in a series that I've really enjoyed. And while I did make my own prompts for the reading rush, some of the books that are on my TBR would actually fulfill the actual reading rush prompts. But there was one that I did not have any book that would fit in for, and that was to read a book that's title starts with the word the. So to kind of just fulfill that prompt, I will be reading the last 100 pages of this, because I can't believe 7 books on my TBR for this week and not a single one of them had a title that started with the word the. Like, what are the chances? So my plan for today is that I have a few orders to pack, so while I do that I'm going to watch a little bit of booktube. Then I have a few candles to make, but I can't make that many because I have jars on the way that should arrive tomorrow or Wednesday, so I can finish up the orders that I have. And then I'm going to start working on the restock. Can't disclose information about this right now, but I do have a subscription box order, so I will be supplying candles for a small UK subscription box. Can't tell you what it is obviously because it's an exclusive candle for the subscription box, and subscription box things that arrive in them are a surprise. But I do have that order that I need to start working on at the beginning of August, so I need to order all the stock for that as well. Maybe make up the label template, things like that. We'll see what I'm doing. Because it's all admin stuff, I kind of just do as much as I can do in a day and tick it off a to-do list, but I do actually need to write my to-do list. Do you see what I mean when I say I'm thoroughly unprepared for this reading rush? I'm not going to tell you the synopses for the books that I'm reading now. As I go through the day and actually read them, I'll give you information on them, but my main plan for the day is to finish the last 100 pages of this and start Vicious. So this one I'm buddy reading with Jade throughout the entire week. It's actually smaller than I thought it was. I thought it was over 500 pages, but it's actually 420. So as you can see, we have sectioned it down and it is between 50 and 60 pages per day. I can tell from like how many chapters are in each 50-page section that this has short chapters, so I think we're gonna fly through this and absolutely smash it. So those are my reading plans for the day. I don't have any other plans outside of work and reading for this first day. There are a couple of things going on throughout the week. One main thing going on in the week that I'm not going to tell you. I'll let it be a little bit of a surprise when it does roll around. It's not like a huge deal, to be honest. It's just something that's happening this week. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how the reading rush is actually going to work out for me this week. It's going to be different than previous years, which is interesting because this is the 3rd year in a row that I will have done daily vlogs, but everything's different this year. I'm self-employed instead of traditionally employed. I bought a house in October, so this is the first time I'm daily vlogging in this house. I don't have any pets anymore, which is sad because I moved out of my family house where all the pets were. So essentially, in theory, with me being able to tailor my own workload, being self-employed, working from home, this should be the best reading rush that I've ever done. So yeah, we'll test that theory because I'm not sure it's actually going to work out like that. If I forget we had plans, when I feel like
like breaking down. Ooh, you'd be there to hold my hand. Lost in my head, pull me back to bed. Oh, oh, when I feel like I got nothing left. I got you. I got you. I got you. Oh, 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 oh. I got you. Oh, 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 oh. I got when I feel like I got nothing left. I got you. I got you. I might fuck up, make a mess.
So I've just finished today's section of Bookish, which has me at page 53. So this one is about two guys, Victor and Eli, and they were best friends in college. Now this book is told in kind of, we'll call it two timelines, although the timelines are skipping all over the place. So we have the past timeline when Victor and Eli were friends in college, and then we have the present day timeline where Victor has been in prison for almost 10 years and he has just been released. And even though I don't know for sure at the point that I'm up to, I'm getting the feeling that he is hell-bent on getting revenge on Eli. Now in the past perspective where they're actually friends, it's mainly told from Victor's perspective. This book is exclusively Victor's perspective at the moment. I don't know whether it switches at all, but he is already very jealous of Eli. It's Eli's decision to study extraordinaries because the main plot of this is that Victor and Eli discover how to make themselves extraordinary and give themselves powers, and they discover that the way that people get extraordinary powers is through having near-death experiences. So I'm assuming that they are going to test this theory upon themselves. So already where I'm up to, I've discovered that this was Eli's decision and Victor is mad that he didn't think of it himself. Eli has a girlfriend that Victor liked first and Victor is mad about that, but he is still friends with Eli. But there is a lot of bitterness and jealousy in their relationship. So I am enjoying this so far. I knew that I would be interested in the plot in this. My history with V. Schwab is that I've read the first two Shades of Magic books and I didn't love them to the extent that everybody else did, and I kind of never went back to her book. So this is my first time in, I want to say around 5 years, that I've picked up a V. Schwab book, and I don't think I like her writing style. I think that that is actually my issue. It's an interesting one because her writing style isn't offensive. It's kind of simplistic, and I think that that is, like, in my mind there is a disconnect between this simplistic writing style and the darkness traditionally of V. Schwab stories. The Shades of Magic series is definitely her least dark series that I know of, I think, but the Villains duology and also the Monsters of Verity duology I believe are extremely dark, and in my mind there's just this disconnect between her simplistic writing style and the darkness of her stories. But I am only 53 pages in. I imagine as the plot picks up I will start to get into it a lot more, even though I don't 100% love her writing style. But already I'm finding myself kind of not connected to Victor, but I do like Victor, and I believe, even though both Victor and Eli I think turn out to be villains, from what I've vaguely heard, I'm kind of assuming that Victor is the worst of the two. But yeah, I'm really interested in villain origin stories and how villains become the way they do, and I feel like the way that the groundwork of this bitterness and jealousy is already being laid down, it's going to be a really good story, like a good build of Victor and assumedly Eli as well turning into full-blown villains. So it is currently 4 p.m. I did finish this section about 20 minutes ago, but I've just done a little bit more work. I'm now currently in the process of making candles. I only have 15 jars, so I can only make 15 candles, so that is not going to take me too long at all. And then I'm going to be picking up the Winter of the Witch. I normally start cooking dinner at around 6 p.m. and I'm going to be doing that tonight as usual, but I'm hoping that I can read around 50 pages. Shall we say I want to get to the 300 page mark? So that is 42 pages in Winter of the Witch, and then maybe get a little bit of a start on my restock before I cook dinner.
If I had no cash to spend, if I forget we had plans, when I feel like breaking down, ooh, you'd be there to hold my hand. Lost in my head, pull me back to bed. Oh, oh, when I feel like I got nothing left, I got you.
Okay, so it's now 9:20 p.m. I swear I have actually moved today. I've only just actually really sat back down here, but I made it to page 308 of Winter of the Witch earlier, so I have just under 50 pages left of this, so I'm going to finish this now and then I'll come back and tell you all about it and wrap up my thoughts. I would have finished this earlier, but I've just been in a video call with Ashley while I made my thumbnail and stuff for this vlog because I was like, I need my time to be productive, but I do also want to have a bath tonight as well. So yeah, my plan is to finish this, probably come wrap up the vlog for you guys as well so I can make a start on editing and then go and get in the bath. I'm back and I have finished The Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden, and oh, the ending. I really like the ending of this. So I haven't told you what this is about yet. I do kind of want to be brief with my synopsis on this, but this is an adult fantasy that is heavily inspired by Russian folklore. It has beautiful writing, it's very atmospheric, and it follows a girl called Vasilisa who is sighted, which means that she can see the spirits of the forest. Vasilisa lives in a town in northern Russia, and the way that these spirits are kept alive is they are given tribute by the townspeople. However, this is set at a time, I think it's like 1300s, 1400s Russia, where the people of Russia are turning towards Christianity and away from the old gods. So less people are paying tribute, which means that the spirits of the forest and the spirits of the household are fading, leaving the people open to attack from malevolent spirits. So this is the final book in the series, and I think my favorite in the series, actually I know my favorite in the series, is the second book. This one I had a few problems with. I don't think that this was very well plotted because the first book in the series is very much coming of age. We follow Vasilisa from a small child and it's mainly focusing on the magic and on the small town where she lives. Now in the second book we move to the city of Moscow, and that book focuses a lot on the politics and an upcoming war between the Russians and the Tatars. I have looked into this, and this book takes place on the background of a real historical event, and the king in this, who is Dmitry Ivanovich, is actually a real Russian king. So the second book does mainly focus on that, although it does still have a little bit of the fantasy aspects in there. And I feel like this final book did try and take on a little bit too much, and it felt not episodic, but the first part of this book seemed to focus on the magic and things that were going on. Actually no, the first part of this book takes place directly after the end of the second book, and we have a big dramatic event in here that I just didn't feel like had much emotional impact on me because it was right at the beginning of this book. It kind of goes to the magical elements of the plot, and then that seems to wrap up really quickly, and then we head back into the politics of the world. So I did feel like it was a little bit all over the place in that aspect. Honestly, was not 100% loving this until I got to the last 100 pages that I read today, which I found to be exactly what I loved about the earlier two books in this series. So I am a little bit disappointed with this last book in the series. I haven't checked my exact rating to see whether I rated this less than the first book, but I do think that this is my least favorite in the series. That being said, the end of this, the way everything wrapped up, it had some of my favorite tropes. I nearly cried a couple of times because one of the things that really gets me in books is, one, the here comes the cavalry trope, which isn't exactly what happened in here, but the other thing that's kind of similar to here comes the cavalry is when somebody can unite a group of people, or when a group of people come together to fight a common cause. Just hits me in the feels, you know. So I did end up really enjoying this. And Morozko, I love Morozko so much, and oh, the bear and Morozko, yeah, really love the end of this, but it is 4 stars overall because the beginning to like first 2/3 of this book I was not really loving too much because it was just a little bit all over the place. So that is one book down for the reading rush. Not a book that was on my TBR, but I'm still happy with how I've done so far. I've read 148 pages so far today. However, I am going to be wrapping this vlog up here, which is obviously before the technical end of the day, but I think what I'm going to be doing is at the beginning of each daily vlog I will let you do know just like my page count for the day before in total. Like I said at the beginning of today, I do need to be reading 300 pages a day, which I'm a little bit worried about. But my plan for the rest of the evening is first off to get this vlog edited. I don't think I have time for a bath now because it's 10:30 and I'm upset about it. So I'm probably just gonna go and get a shower and then I'm going to start something new. Technically, I have my TBR here actually. What I should be picking up next is Good Me Bad Me by Ali Land, because this is actually on my July Bookopoly TBR and I have already started it. I'm only 44 pages into it, and this one is an adult thriller. But the book that I actually want to read is A Strange Hymn by Laura Thalassa. This is the second book in the Bargainer series. It is a fantasy romance and it is on my Reading Rush Bookopoly TBR. So I'm going to be picking up one of these. I'm torn because I don't want to not necessarily make myself slump but slow down the pace by picking up this now, but I'm not sure if I want to read this now because this is the most anticipated book I have on my TBR, and if I read this now then I kind of feel like I'll have nothing to look forward to because I've already knocked out the book that I most want to read, if that makes sense. But regardless, we are approaching the end of my very first Reading Rush 2020 vlog, which means it is time for my booktuber recommendation. When I daily vlog the Reading Rush, I do recommend you guys one booktuber per video, and today's booktuber recommendation is going to be Rhiannon from Welsh Reader. So Rhiannon I have been subscribed to for a little while now, and honestly she is just a lovely person in general. She reads a lot of fantasy. I would say that she mainly reads fantasy, mainly young adult I want to say, but she does read some middle grade and some adult as well. And she's also, especially recently, been reading a little bit of mystery and especially Agatha Christie. Rhiannon does also have a TBR game. I believe she just started it for July and that is based on bingo, so I think it's called like Rhiannon's Book Bingo, where she has one of those little bingo machines and picks her books based on the balls that come out of the bingo machine. Her reviews are also really informative, so when she does her wrap up she does go through each book that she's read in depth and breaks down what exactly it is that she liked and disliked about a particular book. So yeah, if you have not checked out Rhiannon yet, I would definitely recommend that you do so, and the link to her channel will be down in my description box. But that is about it for today's vlog, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it if you've made it this far. If you have, please don't forget to like if you liked it and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go and nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.